My name is Keith Bryant Jr. I have an entrepreneur. I have a media company called Make It Happen Media. Also a content producer. Then issues agriculture and marine resources. Um, Fun fact, I actually bought a harmonica recently as well. I also bought clay to start doing clay making because I went to one class and I'm leaving one. I went to a pottery class. I only used it once. I should get in the bar. But I do like dabble in random sports. About to start tennis lessons to the regional tennis coaches.
My name is Ethan Quant, and one interesting thing about me is I both as Bobby husband.
Stop that. You didn't tell us what you do.
I just don't know about that.
Really? So my name is Dekel Quant, also known as Bowflex Barbie. I am the owner of Bowflex Barbie Fitness, and the Flex Squad is just the community connected to the fitness brand. One interesting thing about me, I qualified for the 2026 Olympia. So that's like in the bodybuilding world, I'm a pro bodybuilder as well. So in the bodybuilding world, that's like the Olympics or the pinnacle of the bodybuilding world. And I'm the first Bahamian woman to go.
Okay, okay. So we could even show some answers. You sit. About talk a little about that. Just for context, is people probably wonder why you so big.
Big as I like to eat. So I am the founder and CEO of Lifestyle Digital Media Group. We specialize in corporate communications through strategic content, and I'm a fitness enthusiast. That's actually how the company I met. I was a competitive bodybuilder, and yeah, I mean that's how I yeah. Ran away and being by second.
Not me.
So that's actually the only thing I wrote down for today. I feel like you two, I don't know, you know, you're making kids in the lab, not kids, but genes and stuff in the lab. Like it feels like you two like engineered your relationship in a sense because you two so like the commonalities, the fitness, the business. I see how I've been you guys my fans, so I've been watching your journey with FitFest, right? FitFest, you're able to help with that because of your background. And you are a personality on a lot of the things he's doing. How do you guys plan this out? Like we like writing scrolling, I hate this. I need that behind the frame to where I'm doing like did it happen naturally? Like talk about that, but how it just seems like you guys are very involved.
Would you like to chime in?
I mean, you would.
I think from the jump, like even when we were dating, it always was the mission has always been how do we capitalize on each other's strengths? And I think as we grew in our relationship, it was always we looked for opportunities to integrate each other's brands and businesses into what it was we were doing. So, I mean, when we first met, we were both in the fitness coaching space. So anything that dealt with like facilitating sessions or one-on-one clients, he would funnel to me. Any clients that I had that needed, even to this day, that need media services for their companies, I sent to him, and we started doing joint projects together. Like FitFest was our like collaborative project in 20. Well, our first one was 2019. He pitched a morning workout show to cable, and of course, it was me leading the workouts. But we always like have done that. Like, how can we integrate what it is that the other person does into what it is that we are doing? You want to say something?
Yeah, I think it's just grounded in intentionality, right? Like one of the things that I'm very intentional about is how can I add value to all of my relationships, my wife, my team, my friends, my family. And literally for me, it's okay, well, I know what she is doing. How can I add value. And then the biggest part about that was learning to add value and help the way that she wanted to be helped, the way that I wanted to help her. Because that's two different days, you know. And so, it's just really grounded in intentionality. Something that we do every year is we have what we call a mastermind. And so we would sit down and she would say, okay, well, these are my goals for this year. This is what I feel I need to do. And this is what I would need from you. And then I would do the same. And then we sit down and say, okay, well, what are our goals for the year as a unit? And then we just pull on each other's strengths. So it's really grounded in intentionality. It ain't like you just buck up and, oh, yeah, no, I see what she's doing. She sees what I'm doing. And let's figure out how we can actually work together to add value to each other. So I'm always on the hunt for opportunities. She's always on the hunt for opportunities. And any opportunity that come out, I give it to our face. So.
Talk about the intentionality. What were some of the things and qualities you guys look for? Both of you were already entrepreneurs, very motivated, I'm sure, perform each other. So what are some of the qualities, some of the things you look for in someone, especially as motivated entrepreneurs?
Qualities that I look for.
Like going into before you two.
Like the relationship, yeah.
Oh, how did I get him? So it's funny, when we first met, we were friends for a year.
She was my friend. I was with
And one of our first things that we actually connected on was he gave me some advice on branding for my fitness company. And he says, as I said, when he knew that I was the one, he gave me the advice. And the next day I had done it was something about rebranding or changing something on my website. And the next day I sent him the link with everything changed. And he was very impressed. And he always lit up when he talks about business. He was probably the first person that I dated that was very entrepreneurial minded. And I realized that he pushed me and challenged me to think bigger. That was a big thing for me. I wanted to be not just supported, because I feel like I had been supported, but to an extent. But he supported me, but also challenged me to think bigger. So that was a big thing for me.
For me, I was scrolling through
You gotta tell him that.
I just saw his body. I was like, who is that?
That was not a part of the question.
But really, it was just, I saw that she had ambition. And one of the things that initially attracted me to her, that I still love her for today, is if she says she want to do something, she can do it. It ain't even I thinking about it. This is what I'm doing. And the fact that I could add value to that. So that was very attractive to me. The fact that I know what I want. She isn't scared to go after. Once she decides, she isn't.
It may take me a while to decide.
It may take a while to decide on certain things, but once she makes the decision that this is what I want, she goes all in. And so it's kind of all right, let me hurry up before she needs me. Let me see how I could help.
What?
Right? And so that was definitely an attraction. And, obviously the fitness element, because, me being a former competitive bodybuilder, her being a pro bodybuilder, you can't have that because it is a lifestyle, right? The Bible say you can't be at evenly yoked, right? And so it ain't just from a faith perspective, it's really a lifestyle perspective. So our values align. She is big on fitness, I'm big on fitness, health, stuff like that. And we know what we want out of life. And so because there was alignment there, that's really what attracted me. And then, like I said,
You ain't gotta say that. Go ahead.
the body was the Bogart body here. But yeah, I mean, we were talking, she didn't have a personality on picture. But
Okay.
I'm just
I was
So-
surviving.
It's nice.
Obviously, to keep it light, right? You do, all the good and actually business and careers is serious, and you two being so in line and your careers working together, your business. How do you create that balance? Is it like shut off point where it's like, okay, doing, we be as my wife? Is there a point where, or is it always like on? Understand any challenges that come with doing business so closely together and being so aligned in a sense of your careers. Because it may be easier to to be doing separate things. That's what I'm thinking. But it also is easier. It's like, it's enough balance probably.
So the first part, how do we balance? We don't.
Yeah,
There is no balance. There are seasons that we lean into. There are seasons where we are able to have more fun, travel, have more date nights. There are seasons where he may be locked down working on something really important. And so I have to respect that. I understand that. All right, it's going to be like this for a while, and vice versa. If I'm working on something really important, he understands. Usually it's me that wants to do more things than him. But I think it's just leaning into the seasons and appreciating that the work that we're both doing in those seasons is for us as individuals, but also for us as a unit, right? And not feeling, trying not to feel neglected or those emotions that sometimes come with work being the priority in that season for that time period. And even though we do work on a lot of things together, we do have quite a bit of individual projects too. And yeah, I think we just learn. I know he loves to work. So we can go to dinner and he will talk for hours about what he's working on because that excites him. And sometimes if I'm not in that headspace, I'll say, and he'll pick up on it, he'll shift the topic. But I've learned that's just him. He loves work and I love him. So I let him talk about what he loves, which is usually work. That excites him. And he will sometimes entertain me talking about pop culture news when I'm inspired. But I think there is no real balance. I think it's more of just appreciating what season we're in during that time and allowing each other to do what we love, knowing that it creates a healthier space for us to live in.
Yeah.
Yeah, he goes talk about work all day. Yeah.
I definitely could relate. That's me too. But I definitely try to shut it down a little sometimes. But I want to dive into some of the projects specifically that you two work on that persons may not be aware of. So, and I want to do that individually as well, and you can chime in if you want. So I'll start with Dekel, with FitFest, right? So, firstly, tell the audience what is FitFest, because it's interesting. You don't realize that. Sometimes you don't realize how significant certain events are, how big they are. We see it on TV or we may see it fly, but you don't realize the work that person's put in and the amount of effort they take. So I just want to share just what this FitFest is before me even go into it.
Sure. So that was actually a joint project we did. Yeah, I was the host, but we were partners in that. It was a weekend fitness festival we held started in 2021, and we did it yearly until 2023 before we took a little break. But we brought in international and local fitness instructors for a weekend. But we coined this fitness and fun in paradise. So the first 2 years we had at Breezes on the property. We had the instructors come in, we had guests come in, international and local. And we had a weekend full of fitness events, activities, mixers, classes. Then we closed out the weekend on Sunday with a sunrise yoga stretch session. So we did our first 2 years at Breezes, and then we moved in 2023 to Bahamar, which came with it's beautiful, it's big, it was expensive, yeah. But it was really, really good. And for the most part, it was Ethan and I bootstrapping and buckling down and putting off the 3 years. And when he shifted and we both shifted in our businesses, we decided to take a little pause and just funnel the attention there.
So the reason I mention that is because it's a huge event, right? They bring in influencers from, they fly in influencers. It's the biggest fitness event in the Bahamas. I'm excited to be corrected, right? And a lot of us in our careers, we see stuff like that and we wonder, we say, I could do that, or we want to do something like that, maybe in another field. We want to bring in our favorite speakers, but we don't realize how much work it takes, right?
And money.
Right? And money. So I want you to talk about basically for someone who may be here who wants to do a huge event, they want to do something fast one day. What should they be working on right now in order to get to that level to where you can rent parts of Bahama, rent persons from all over the world, rent Le Chateau. What does it take, to get to that level, starting from maybe a small event?
Well, I believe in starting with the end in mind, right? Like I'm a big fan of reverse engineering. And so the idea is that what do you want it to look like? I think you couple that with, because like Dekel said, we started our first 2 years of Breezes, right? That was strategy because we had a relationship with the address, one of the managers there, and Breezes is all inclusive. And so it was easy and, their room minimum was less. And it was kind of like, okay, a worst case scenario, if we have to pay for this whole thing ourselves, like we could cover the penalty. Like literally that was it. But we started out because it was the easiest thing for us to do. So yeah, Bahama would have been nice in our first year, but it's like, all right, we don't know if anybody show. This is on the heels of COVID.
Yeah.
So it's like, all right, we don't know, which is another reason why we did the all inclusive. But so I say like, yeah, you may have this idea of what it is that you want at the end of the day, but not knowing how you're going to execute that shouldn't be reason not to get started. I believe in starting and just moving in the general direction, but being open enough to remember what is the intention. I want to have a big event where we could have people in. Does it have to be at Bahama? Does it have to be at Atlantis? Do you have access to resources that may allow you to have the same quality event in terms of building proof of concept that can let you grow and elevate? And I always get my projects like the chemist calling me PDF daddy, because like I do a PDF for everything. Like literally, I talking about down to logo design, name. We have the event, like, and I organize it in a full like pitch deck where I go to present it to somebody. Because my whole thing is that if somebody walks up to me and say, "Hey Ethan, I got $10 million. I don't know where to put it," I could go on my shelf. Here's a $10 million idea. If you got 15 million, I got one of them too. If you got 100 million, I got one of them too. And so my thing is, I try to get the concept to the point, like Aunt Jemima. It's still Aunt Jemima.
The church.
Or the town, like it's pretty woke. What from anyway, Caucasians. Where they say just hot water because all the ingredients are already there. That's how I try to get my idea, and the water is the money, because you don't need money to get started. And so that's really how I operate. And then once you have that idea crystallized, then you start knocking the way based on the resources that you have easy and ready access to. Like you may know somebody with a space. You may know somebody who has a camera. You may know somebody who has a PA system. But so often we think we have to go so big and so grand that we miss the low-hanging fruit that would still be able to allow us to execute at a high level. And then two, we underestimate the value of collaboration. But like really, all right, I will have this event. Who else could benefit from this? Who are the vendors? And then who I know those, who are the vendors that I need? And do I know anybody in that space that we could do this thing together? And that's really how we start.
It's awesome. You mentioned a lot of points. But I want to go on to mention collaboration. I almost thought you were going to start talking about that. So you talk about collaboration and knowing persons. That brings me to the next question. Project collaboration. How important is collaboration? Bartering. Oh, by the way, I don't know if you guys realize, but we ain't just talking relationships no more. We're romantic relationships. So I kind of wanted to lure you guys into the relationship part, and then we go straight on the business relationships. So now we transitioned smoothly into business relationships, right? So before I even go there, Ethan and I met at a course, a videography course in 2019 or 18.
Yeah, I think 2018. Yes,
2018.
feel like a long time.
It was a little while ago, couple of years. And we both were started in our businesses. And I was reluctant to do the class. First of all, I mean, I like even lost my name. The class was like 160. So that was my network. Right? It was already, I had just graduated, so I didn't really have a steady job yet. I was just working full time. And one of my mentors encouraged me to join. So one of the things that I took away from that experience was I didn't learn that much in the class that I already did a lot of videos and courses, but I did gain some relationships. So I learned that some opportunities isn't about what you might have learned or the persons you might meet, because years later, now you still connected. There's only probably two persons in the course I still have good communication with, but those two relationships, two quality relationships. So I learned the importance of networking and just staying in touch with persons who on similar paths, right? And so yeah, talk about the importance of that collaboration, bartering, and just relationships that have been for you to build your brands and your businesses the way I now.
You wanna go?
I can give it back to you. But I do want to say that, one of the ways that, like, this is one of the greatest collaborations, right? So when you talked about like how we work together, it's really a collaborative effort. Like, I have a media company. Like even just today, like I know it's Austin studio.
Yesterday and today. Well, today they shot it.
Beat that studio bad, but we started out in our living room, right? And so as I grow and expand my business, I am in a position to add even more value to her. And this is a collaboration. And then whenever I post, that's Bobby's husband, my engagement goes from the roots, right? So, we kind of leverage that, right? But this is really what it's about as far as collaboration. And like I just want to say, like, this is really one of the best collaborative efforts right there.
That's so nice.
So now you can answer the question.
I could actually answer it. I think that, well, for me, when I'm collaborating with another individual, a company, a brand, I lead, like what Ethan said, how can I add value to this, this person, and that's what I lead with. But also, is it going to be mutually beneficial? Obviously, is there something I can offer them? Is there something they can offer me? And it doesn't, like you said, have to always be monetary focused. It can be, this is just something that I'm passionate about, and vice versa. It can be something that feels good. It can be something that, provides more exposure. But I think that's the biggest thing. Am I able to actually add value to and make the impact that this person that, I'm thinking of collaborating with, or a company brand that I'm thinking of collaborating with, is in search of, and vice versa? Like, is what I have to offer actually going to add that? actual impact. But I think we do underestimate how like powerful collaboration can be. Like you said, sometimes it is going to spaces and maybe not getting exactly what you went there for, but walking away, having made a connection that you never know how a couple weeks, couple months, couple years down the line that could pan out. I've had the opportunity to kind of reconnect with people years down that just because I had a short interaction with maybe at a conference or at an event that, you know, they saw me, they spoke, we connected, and they remembered that this is what I do. I do fitness, and they referred me for, you know, something. So I think that's the biggest thing. How can you add value and leading from that place, like Ethan said, wanting to add value and then being open to it. Like, how does that person actually want to receive the value too?
We're gonna do that. You want to clap? Y'all clap.
Don't please don't.
Yeah, somebody was sat in the clap. So I believe in the power of collaboration so much. Last year we acquired our studio / offices in one industrial lot, and we acquired the space next to us. So prior to getting the space, like we had office in the studio, we'd have to move all the furniture, like, set up the sets to shoot and stuff. But when we acquired the space next door, I had the idea, inspired by my good friend, Dr. Leo Rohn, he's CEO of Entrepreneurship Commerce, because they did about $250,000 worth of renovation on by, like, no dollars exchange. And I was like, I wonder if I can do that same thing too. Not because I'll be honest, one, I was like, I really don't want to go out of pocket to, you know, 75, 100,000 to build out this next side. Like I did first side. And I was like, I don't know if I can get to do this under collaboration. And so, you know, we launched, we had vendors. I mean, the reception was crazy. So the long and short of it is that we exchange between everybody and us, everybody being the vendors, suppliers, we exchanged about $100,000 in services and product to expand my studio, right? Now, I still had to come out of pocket some stuff, which means that the studio renovate, the expansion would have costed me, I think we tallied everything up to about $152,000. And like I said, the majority of that was done through collaboration. It was the plumber. Plumber say, okay, well, I can do all the plumbing work. And so we did media for them. You know, our woodworker, he came in, built custom site wall, custom kitchenette. All right, that was $20,000. You put $20,000 worth of services towards him. You know, AG Electric, you know, the paint place, like real businesses, right? I came on because they understood it. And I knew we were onto something when we were at a power brunch at Pearl Caribbean. And the CEO was like, John Gomez. John was like, Ethan. I was like, he know my name. So yeah, you told that 5 years.
He didn't say that.
So he said, yeah, man, tell me about this operation collaboration thing I've been seeing on over social. And I told him, and it was crazy because he said, you know what? I'm watching that. Because we have a signal that one, black people can't work together. And then the next thing is behemoths can't work together. And so that was a big part of why I had to make sure that it was successful. We had our challenges, Mike. But at the end of the day, we were able to expand the studio with over $100,000 worth of exchange of services under collaboration involved. And that is our story. And so I really believe in collaboration and relationships. It's like, they say that's the only difference between a contact and a contract. It's like the R is a relationship. And I believe that, but like I believe that.
It's as you got about John, that reminds me. A lot of times we think that these persons are so far away or these connections are so hard to get. But when you really just put yourself out there, you really just talk to a human like a human, you realize how simple it is. Because I say John, because John, he's a first name basis kind of guy. I did some work, assisted on a shoot with them some years ago, and anybody calling him John, receptionist, I'm like, why they call his man John? And he tells him to call him John.
Yeah.
So now I don't even remember his last name sometimes because that's just how cool he is as a CEO. And I thought that was so cool. And as we talk about relationships, right, and how important they are, I want to share our story and something that happened with Ethan and I. So this connection we made in 2018. I was a teacher at the time, doing media on the side, wanting to transition to make it into my full-time career. And the pandemic came in 2020. And I don't know why I decided, well, even, I didn't have much media friends. I was never like someone who was super connected. People be like, oh, kitchen work, like that. Hey, no, my lord. Ethan, me and Ethan was sitting like, that was the best person I know at the time in media. And me didn't know he was doing like that.
No.
Right? So I could have called him just that's one he turned on versus like you media. So I called him, I was like, bro, look at my job. They didn't renew my contract. Because it was a PE teacher. They didn't renew me. It's just a cool
They did. I disagree.
So I told them like, hey, I wondering if I should apply for more jobs or what I should do. And he told me, he said, bro, I got this a kosher version.
Yeah.
He said, bro, we ain't nobody I ain't right now. It don't even make no sense to a black girl job. I mean, you would do me here, go do me here. It was then in line full time into media. After that conversation, I started doing my logos and everything. I decided to go full force. I changed it from just my name and I came up with a name. So I really credit him a lot. And as we talk about relationships too, I remember a conversation I had with someone, and in some ways, Pierce said, look at us as competition. And I told the person, I was like, bro, it's almost like, it was like a conversation where it was like, man, they wanted me to do a job, and you were doing a job already or something. I was like, I get with that one. Now, I'm a competitive person. Business is business. But if you have a certain respect of that, and sometimes you just like, it ain't even worth it. You're aware that the relationship I have is certainly valuable to me, even though we rarely are. It's just I have a certain level of respect, and I respect God them here today. Everyone should, hey, y'all should write your paycheck, right? I should be writing all the paycheck, right? But maybe one day I'll have to write that check out there, the cash is there. But you'll be surprised just how just, those small relationships, starting from what you thought was a small conversation, just being yourself, just genuinely connecting with persons to take you far, not just in business and career. People always talk about it's who you know, but it goes further than that. It's not just who you know, it's what they know about you too, right?
Yeah. The experience they have with you. Yeah.
The knowing people is just executing the dog.
Yeah.
All right. And I'm going to.
Oh, before I want to touch on something. I mean, it's just like you said something, and I feel like you should say something. So with that whole, like, people look at us as competitors or whatever, right? Like I get that, but my thing is that, and this is something that we as people need to start doing. Like, we need to stop operating with a scarcity mentality. Mm-hmm. There is more than enough for everybody to have more than enough. But I could leave that. You operate from a place of abundance. And that's something that my wife is saying that she tell me that so I can make more money.
And you can swipe the
I'm
card.
spending the money. But I literally like that scarcity mentality would have you broke. Because thoughts become things. And if you think that there's only enough for you and you got a hoard, that's all you get.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But if you operate from a place of abundance, and so I love it when I see he don't get to do anything. You know, I will never. Now, mind you, I don't celebrate, and I see everybody doing stuff for some period. But I don't try to block nobody.
Yeah.
Right? I don't talk bad about nobody. Like, my thing is, if I am operating from a place of excellence, I know that I'm operating from a place of abundance, like I can get by. And there's more than enough for everybody to have more than enough.
Yeah.
And so, you know, like, I think if we start and we flip that switch, like we really start operating like, you know, think, wait, go get your bag, but like make that money. I'm glad, because this is something that when I started my first business, somebody told me, and he was just so, this is another reason why I share what I know. Because when I started my first business, like, people would look at me and this dude as a competitor. They were doing the same thing that I wanted to do. They were in the business, like they were the top dog. I ran to his partner, like, you know, young buck coming in and give me some advice. He ran me out of the office. And I called him. He's like, yeah, man, come let me open the books. He literally gave me the playbook, right? And I was like, I was so stunned. I was like, but like, why? You know, I talked to your partner, he ran me out. He said, you're leaving a rising tide, there's all boats. He said, if you come in and you're able to elevate the industry because you bring in fresh ideas, a fresh perspective, that's going to cause me to get better on my game. And that's going to be better at the end of the whole industry. And that was my first business. I was 23, but, and so anybody know, if you come to me and like when I say at the top of business, I can give you a whole plan. Like, we can sit down, we can talk, because like somebody did it for me and I actually enjoy it. So if there's anything that I could do to help anybody advance in business, like almost my team was coming with business advice. Hey, I think about this. This is what I want to do. I start off with that. And so I think that's the main thing. Like, don't think that there's not enough. Like, there's more than enough for everybody to have more than enough.
After that, I'll set up there. So we are going to a little break. Like I said, this is a lot of networking. So we want to also give persons opportunities to network. We end the session. Q&A is coming. But we're going to go into our break, and then we're going to wrap up the panel and then allow Q&A.
Right.
It's going to open the floor up. Anyone have any questions for our guests? Feel free to go ahead and ask. I'll give you the mic. Right behind me.
That was a question.
Good evening. Thank you both so much for all of the insight that you gave this evening. And I know that both of you are successful entrepreneurs. And Ethan, you talked a lot about collaboration. And I wanted to know, for young entrepreneurs just starting out, what would be a top 3 tips for them?
3? I don't know if I got 3, but a big thing that we always talk about is, and I think we touched on it a little bit today, is when you go to events like this, especially leading with how can you add value, right? But also actually listening, engaging, connecting, because that's what people remember. And like, not being, I won't say not being cheesy or corny about it, but trying to ensure that when people do connect with you in spaces like this, especially, they have a positive experience. That's something I'm mindful of, even like if I go to a restaurant, if I go to grab a sandwich from a shop, like if I'm interacting with people, you just never know like who's connected with you outside of that first interaction. And a thing we're also big on is doing what you say you're going to do, right? When you have those connections, that first exchange, especially delivering on what you actually promise, right? We like to say, under promise and over deliver, right? So I think that's a big thing for us. Like, even for me, as someone that gets approached with collaborations, one of the biggest things that will determine whether I will collaborate with that person again is, one, the experience that I have with them and how genuine I feel they are in that connection. But also, did they do what they said they were going to do? So I always go into collaborations knowing, okay, I need the expectations to be clear. I'm big on contrast too, no matter how. My really good friend, we did a barter on, when she first moved over to Nassau, she did my hair for a year. I trained her for a year. That was our exchange. we were really good friends, but I was like, we need this in writing. So I'm big on contracts, no matter the nature of the relationship or how you may think, oh, it's just like a fun or easy thing. No, if it's a 1 page, couple sentences, having a contract, and then just doing what you say you're gonna do. And I think that was only 2, but that one went out.
My dad. You say new entrepreneurs just starting out. First thing is get clear on what it is that you do. Like, you want to make sure that you have that clarity, and clarity to the point where you know, and you could explain it to somebody, right? If they say, okay, well, this is what I do. Like, you want to be clear on what it is that you do. And then you want to develop a proof of concept and some sort of track record as soon as possible. That may mean collaborating or working free. Like, I am very big on free work. Even to this day, I ain't even talking about collaboration. Like, I would just work for free if it makes sense, right? Because if you can't get nobody to pay you to do work, the next thing is to work to gain the experience, gain the client base, stuff like that. And then the third thing I would say is, like, promote, but like, don't be afraid to shout from the rooftop, post on social, like, this is who I am, this is what I do, this is how I serve, this is how they can contact me, like, promote your business. Because I find, like, a lot of people online, so they got me to say cringe.
I don't want to overwhelm, but no.
Like, the reality is that you could post 10 times a day, 7 days a week, and nobody still know who you is, right? Because there's so much content out there. So that would my thing. Get clarity, get proof of concept so that you can display authority, build trust, and then demonstrate through showing up online, in person, getting in front of people.
Visibility.
My 3 things.
Thank you so much for all the amazing information you shared so far. I'm gonna backtrack a little and take us back into the relationship role phase. It's not just romantic, but all of your relationships that you're forming. You talked a little bit about, being intentional about what you're looking for and seeking those things out. Can you share a little bit of your process on how you figured out what you even needed in the first place when it came to your relationships? How did you ensure them saying maybe, I needed a contract? How does that come about? Or it was a romantic relationship? You say that you need someone that looks a certain way or does a certain thing. How did you come up with a list and the values?
Well, so Dekel is my second wife. I was married before. I got married. I was 24 when I got married. Had a baby. It was a baby dream, but I wasn't happy. And, that relationship ended very badly, right? If you go on my podcast, we didn't talk about it. Like, shared my therapy session. Well, but
What's the podcast?
382 podcasts on YouTube. Oh, check it out. It's awesome. But I say that to say that it wasn't even so much that now I had this list of things that I wanted. I just knew what I didn't want, right? And coming out of a very unhealthy, very toxic marriage, like, when I met her, I was like, I ain't trying to get married. Like, I good. Like, we cool. I ain't trying to get married. Really chill.
He didn't have that conversation, no.
I wasn't trying.
Not in all those words.
Yeah,
right?
no, but I wasn't interested in getting married when we first got together. Like, that wasn't the thing.
Yeah, but I did. Anyway, yeah.
But she knows she was doing whatever. But I say to say that, like, sometimes if you even so much knowing what you want, it's okay not to know what you want. Just know what you don't want, right? Because reality is that in this day and age, there are very few models or examples of what a healthy relationship looks like, right? And then even with that, a healthy relationships look different for different people. And so find you're healthy. Like you know what your values are, you know what your non-negotiables are. Find that, but also be open enough to like it wasn't like this box where you check it. And then if it, you see somebody because you could see somebody you think checks all the boxes, but then it still won't work out because there's an alignment. And so my thing is, even if you don't know what you want, that's okay, but know what you don't want. But still be open enough to experience stuff. Sometimes that you think you may not know what you want and you may not, anyway, just be open enough. But have a general idea, and then if it feel off, chances are it's off. All right, that's what I would say. I guess I love it.
I think you mentioned like from the I guess, romantic relationship side, like how you need a contract, very similar. Like I've been burned in, I guess, business relationships where there weren't those things in place. And even from I'm a coach, right? I have clients that I train, even down to those relationships, there are contracts and waivers that my clients have to sign. These are the policies. If you're late beyond this amount of time, y'all know, like side us to it to different businesses, but it is usually because of negative experiences or to protect yourself, right? And I think, like Ethan said, like knowing at the end of the day what you want out of the business connections as well is what you lead with. But also, again, protecting yourself, knowing, okay, taking those experiences, because you learn a lot of those things. Like I didn't come out the gate like, okay, I'm going to have all these things in place. It was an experience of learning and adjusting. And even that contract changed over time. I realized I didn't have anything to protect myself against this specific thing. So I need to add that in for the next person that signs on. And so it's kind of like a living document. That's business in general. You adjust, you pivot, you change what needs to change as those circumstances come up.
Thank you.
And anyway, no, we can add that.
I'm scared.
Okay, so I've gone up both you on socials, right? And Hebrand. I recently got into mainly your Kids Got Content, and I think you both have your podcast and stuff. And every time I watch your content, I was telling Keith that there is this drive that is it causes me to gravitate. At what age or what is it that changed the tides for you? She speaks about how much you love business, and you can always speak about it. You don't find people that have that hunger or that drive, especially in this economy. Like in something like this, what is it that really caused you to say, I'm not worried about anybody else not down. But I looking at the videos and be like, he preaching no more. Who's watching? This guy like 2 legs and he's going. And I don't find much young, especially this age, in the era of social media where everything is driven by metrics. Every day is quantified. And you get discouraged easily. So growing up, a lot of people didn't have to deal with your worth being or your business success being measured by how much followers, how much likes, but how much shares you have. Not even the money. Like some people don't validate who those metrics validate in my account. A lot of them don't care about that.
Yeah.
But I look at you on your socials and it's like, what turned the tide for you to make you say, I'm not gonna be a shy founder or I wanna post like nobody's watching, because I feel like we're in an era where social media dominates. And a lot of people struggle being consistent because you have all of these metrics that are being tied to you. And it's like, if you don't meet these criteria, you're really a nobody. So what advice when you give somebody that's building? Grade recently said, you can't be a shy founder. And that just stuck with me. What advice did you give to someone that's building and that you are really interested in? What turned things for you to make you just go full steam ahead into this?
So you won the 97 people who's watching. First of all, thank you for that. A couple of things. I'm a business owner, right? And I own a media company. And so and anybody like Roberto is on our team, anybody that works with me in my circle know I don't do one thing to do one thing, right? I honestly believe that I'm at the point in my life and business career where I can add value, right? And so me deciding to really go with my podcast was so that I could add value at scale. Like I really believe because friends come, family come, people come, they're like, hey, and I add value to my circle, those who have access. So I say, okay, well, I really wanted to focus on building my brand so that I could add value at scale. The podcast is a fun and easy way to do that. But I own a media company and we offer podcasting as a service. And so for my media company, I can say, listen now,
Proof of concept.
and I go, exactly, it's proof of concept. So when I go and I say, hey, as a founder, you should be more visible. If I'm not visible as a founder, that's a problem. And I go and pitch, yeah, of course we could do a podcast. This is Short Studio. So it was all of that. And then also having my team put in the reps, right? And so that was really what it is. But so that's one thing. The next thing is that I just be doing it for me, bro. Like I a lot of times I'm speaking to the version of me that wish I had that. Like I didn't have that really coming in. I'm fortunate now that I do have coaches and mentors, and I did have people along the way. But when I was starting out, I was going against my Christian mommy who, when I tell I leave in the bank, she started praying for me and doused me in olive oil because she thought I was possessed. She's like, you leave like the bank job, And because it was for them, it wasn't for us. They could have their business and all that, their success. Us, we have to work for them, right? And so that's what I was fighting against. It wasn't really cool or sexy or fun to say that I'm a business owner, I'm an entrepreneur. It wasn't a flex. It was, you're gonna be sobbing like you lost your mind. And so, I've had the privilege to build several businesses. Like I tell anybody that I could carry a business from 0 to 6 figures in 12 to 15 months. I know that for a fact because you just saw that from Shareable for us. I am on the process now of scaling my business to 8 figures. I can't tell you how to do that, but you can watch my journey, right? And I can share with you the things that I'm learning in real time. And so my podcast is really sharing my experiences, but actually having conversations with people that I actually like and admire. Like I actually like and admire these people, and we just sit down and we have real conversations about business, like success. And so when I'm on there and then when I do my solo bits, it's just, okay, well, these are things that people have been coming up. These are questions that we feel, and I just share my perspective on it. And honestly, if it resonates, that's a bonus. But like, I like to go back and be like, all right, bro, you talking on me. No, I'm talking about a regime, like I said, that did not that. So I'm glad to hear that, it resonates, but it is something that I'm passionate about business. Like I believe that entrepreneur, but I also believe now that everybody shouldn't be an entrepreneur. Like some people should be a number 2 or number 3. And there's nothing wrong with that. But I do feel that everybody should participate in building something bigger than themselves, even if the vision didn't originate from them. If you could join a team, if you could link up with a founder and be that number 2, like I didn't know there was this thing called entrepreneurship when I was coming up. I was like, I didn't know that was a thing. And and you all know what an entrepreneur is? All right, so what it is, an entrepreneur is typically the founder, the person who starts a business. Entrepreneur is somebody, either the number 2 or the number 3, who has close enough proximity so they get to witness they have a type of entrepreneurship, but they don't have pressures of building it.
They don't have all the risk.
So like, they don't have all the risk. So they could, use it to kind of test ideas, series. They could be creative. They could do all this stuff. But at the end of the day, they're the one who got to cut the check, pay the people, right? So they'll remove from that part. And like I said, if I didn't know that was a thing, that may have been a thing.
I
But,
think so.
but I was saying like everybody don't have to be D1 because being D1 is hard. Anybody who is really trying to build something substantial, bigger than themselves, you need a team. And honestly, that's I used to say it was one of my greatest challenges. So the team that I'm building now, like, we always looking for good people. But if you could come in and contribute to building something bigger than yourself, you don't need to be the one, even if it is. Because if your vision, if the vision of founder is big enough where your vision could be realized by joining that team, I would tell you join that team. But yeah, that's really what it is. I talk to my younger self, and that's I guess why I'm so passionate.
I think he also doesn't care. Like, he just
Yeah,
really don't care. At his core,
Like my real,
he don't care.
I'll be like F them. Like that's my mantra. I say F.
So, hey guys, so I guess Ethan and sorry we get new the chaos.
Ethan's wife.
So I guess I've ever interacted with any musicians or artists. And if you all have any advice on being an artist, like, and because I feel like being an artist is a business and stuff, like growing your brand. Like, if you all have any advice on that in the background, so I would go, which I'll say.
Have I interacted with any musicians and artists?
You're into the music singer?
No. So a couple years ago, 2021, when Cardi B was here for a couple weeks, I trained her. I worked with Alicia Keys as well. And something that stood out to me from a business perspective with both of them, especially with Cardi, was her ability to, like, while I was training her, she was having all of these like brand meetings, and she was like, her team was coordinating such. I think she was working with Reebok at the time. And of course, it was a cool experience, but that's something that stood out. Like, yeah, she's an artist, but she's a businesswoman first. Like, her music is only one avenue of what she does. And so I really would say, yes, you lead with your artistry, or that is your foot in the door, but really think about, like, you talk a lot about collaboration, how, as you build your platform, you get this not big yes, how can you bring people in to be a part of what you're building? Because I think that's leverage. We think you have to have all this exposure to lead with, to be valuable to brands or to have partnerships, but people are also really excited about being kind of like first to arrive at the ground level and actually grow and build with you. So I would say think about that. That's something that I don't see a whole lot of artists leveraging as much as I think they can, both locally. I think locally is, you can go to the establishment and have conversations, but also obviously using the internet and social media as well. You have anything to add to that?
I mean, I got a lot to add. But in that, I think the biggest thing, and I think this goes for creatives in general, right? Like, you gotta do the work. Like, know what it is that you want to do, or what you want to get out of business, but you got to do the work. People underestimate exactly how much work it takes to build a business. And if you want to make music your business, you have to be about that business. All right? And so whether that be, so you put in no tracks, because the thing is it's easier, but it's also harder. Because you could be putting out 2 videos every day and somebody sees you getting discovered, right? Like, and I think too, don't be afraid to be insignificant. And I think that's to your point too, is like, I'm not afraid to be insignificant. because you have to be insignificant before you become significant. And so that means doing the work when nobody's sharing, when nobody knows you, when people laugh, man, you better be doing this one, but nobody see this video. So I have people, my 97 viewers. Actually, like, that's 97 people. While else me watching it 96 times. So I do it too. I leave my YouTube channel and just roll it. But don't like take if this is your business, take your business seriously, buddy. Like don't bullshit. Take your business seriously because it's only gonna grow to the extent that you grow it.
The effort you put in.
So I have the next question. So like how like you was out of like for like up in the 9 to 5, like the transition from 9 to 5 to doing it was this full time. Like how much, like how was that? Like how much work do you feel like you should be putting in? I know like everyone be like, my God, put in overnight, long nights. So like, was it that for you? Like you putting in long nights, like overnights, like even like people starting to like be aware of like the burnout. How do you manage burnout and getting your business up and to where it is today? Like
I can really
putting in that work. Like
how is my own plan?
He does not believe in burnout.
you don't deal with burnout.
It's very toxic, but he doesn't. I think for him, he works until he feels that it's less productive to be up and working than it is to rest. That's his theory. I don't agree with that, but
So no, legit, like that's my thing.
but it works for him.
But to answer the how did I leave? So I believe in planning. I don't believe in just moving as the spirit needs. Like I believe you need a plan, like a real plan. And so from the moment that I decided that I was going to leave the bank to I actually left, it was about 13 months. So I didn't just, I don't want to be here no more. I leave it. It was, okay, what is my exit strategy?
Mm-hmm.
And my first business was actually in financial services because I was at the bank. And my office that I was building out was in Sandy Port. And I was working at First Frigate in Sandy Port. So on my lunch break, I would go to my office, work with the contractors to build out the office space. And I actually opened my office 3 months before I left the bank, actually. And so I would literally go on my lunch break, send out emails and stuff, faxes from the office. And then I would go back. And so, like I said, I did that crossover for about 3 months, but it was a solid, and I said 13 months, well, 15 months before when I said I wanted to meet the entity because I had to set it up. At that time, I was married. I had a 1-year-old child, and we was building our first set of apartments. And so I guess when I think about it, that's probably why I don't know, he thought I was crazy. But I had to set it up. So it wasn't just like I leave in. So that may look different for you, right? But the thing is that you want to make sure that you have some sort of a plan, some sort of a cushion, because I'll tell you this, no matter how good you plan and how much cushion you have, it's not going to be enough when you leave. Like when you leave that quote unquote safety net of a job and you realize that you only could eat what you kill, brother, you got to go in there and hunt every day because you don't have the luxury of that 15 and 30th paycheck. And when you're talking about, and that's why I talked to Keith, I was like, Keith, you living home with your mommy, but you better do this business thing. You ain't got, I lie?
This is 6 years ago.
Yeah, 6 years. You ain't living home with this one anymore.
Why are you making up bad like that? This was not recent.
This wasn't recently, but when me and him had that conversation, but I was like, boy, like you ain't got nothing to lose. And so imagine if you got something to lose, but you like, people underestimate that, oh yeah, I could just go on my feelings it's just like fitness. You don't build a body like this on feelings. I thought about this, not this, not this. You don't build that body on feelings. It's just like that. Like you gotta go up every day, regardless of how you feel. You just gotta get it done. And so people grossly underestimate how much work it takes to build a business from scratch. And just imagine that it's going to be 10 times harder. And you can then you think it can be 10 times harder. So if you think it can be hard, multiply that by 10 and then multiply it by 10 again. Like it ain't easier there, brother. So make sure you're doing what you gotta do. Sorry.
Yeah, I really don't ask me, but I heard that question, and I just want to emphasize all of this.
Yeah.
Keep using music together, right? Because I remember going on, that was the hardest 2 years of my life, right? I got this story often, you probably get tell it every month. I went down from a savings, a couple thousand to $24, right? I was so stressed out, I ran into a job again. And now I'm in the place where, okay, I had to stop doing full-time business, got a job. Now my business makes more than my job, and I still scared. Because not scared, I still strategic. Because I'm like, that's not gonna happen again. So I love that comment I was releasing preparing 12 months, 13 months out. And I'm in that process right now, which is so cool. There that story for the first time. Because my goal, just to give some insight into some of you maybe considering, my goal this year is to save my whole salary from my job. And that's gonna be my safety net. So next year, I'm gonna still be an overpaid for my job because I'm not spending that solid salary. So yeah, and it takes so much discipline because one of the hardest things for me now is which was a lifestyle retreat. Yeah. Leandro also uses her lifestyle retreat because I'm struggling to live off my paycheck, which isn't necessarily a bad paycheck, but I so used to knowing I have two salaries. So now I'm trying to humble myself. Well, I'm humbling myself to just live on that one salary and see that whole salary for next year. I don't have any excuses to go on full time. And if you see me on the job next year, cool, but I wouldn't need it. I don't need it. That's a long story. Where yeah, so it's definitely a lot of discipline and hard work to go full time, especially when I usually don't go with Kennedy, everything you get. And I try to treat myself like that now. I'm preparing my mind now. So I don't think about my job as seeking that. But there is an option. I think that I must climb because that's where I am in my business and in my mind and my mentality. So, I try to speak to them with respect and all that, but in my mind, God is another client, heaven is another. I find that I respect all my clients, So that's just a little insight on my mentality.
So for someone who has multiple businesses, how would you manage that, especially in different fields? When will you say what's either best route or managing on the different businesses or hobbies that you would like?
You want to do that?
I have a question. Is it just you in all of them? Yeah. Do you have one that is like your bread and butter?
Not yet. I focus mainly on one.
Which one?
At least get one around it.
Which one do you focus on the most?
Crop.
Is that the one that's been in business the longest? Or
Say it again. Say the name of the business.
Croc Tops? Croc Tops 242. Yeah, you go.
My mean is, you want me, my advice would be focus on what?
The main one. Make the main
Focus
thing the
on
main
it.
thing.
Keep the main thing the main thing. you have to understand that we have a finite amount of resources, energy included, time included, right? Anything that takes time doing takes time away from doing something, right? And so if you have multiple businesses and you're the only one operating these businesses, it isn't surprising that all of these, unless you 6-7 figures in all of them. If that isn't the case and you're building all of these businesses from scratch, then I would say focus on one and focus on getting back to a point, right? Now, I have my media company and I also do luxury real estate.
They feed each other.
They complement each other, but even I wasn't active in real estate until I built the media company to a point where I wasn't on sheets and I wasn't in the day-to-day, and I could focus on higher level stuff, right? And even now, my media company feeds my real estate feeds media, right? But it's going to be very difficult for you to build anything of real substance and size and quality if you have a bunch of different stuff.
And you're doing everything.
Yeah, that's what it is. You only got enough time to do, and then you're trying to have a life too. You want to go out, you all worry about burnout.
She also has a 9 to 5 and has school. Yeah.
Yeah. So focus on one, right? I mean, I ain't tell you
Which one?
quit your job. I ain't tell you start going to school. Maybe some people that I do it too, but if you build a business, right? And this is like business is the serious business. If you ain't taking your business seriously, how you expect it to grow? It's like pick one and go all in. Now you ready? You got school, you got your 9 to 5. Like that little time that you have there, you still trying to sprinkle over social life, whatever else you do, and then go. I mean, the 5 to 6 businesses that you got. Big one.
So let's take this last question to you. Want to overdo it? Or do you have time to discuss afterwards? The cafe goes to that camp, so you got a little later on if you wanted to talk afterwards.
Nick, great to walk. My one is touching on a few different points, but I want to go back and ask what's like that pivotal one. It might be one deal, one moment, one experience that made you say, I'm on the right track. Because I feel like that's where I'm at in my business right now. People don't see the burnout. And Keith know, I don't believe in burnout. People know I get burnout. I don't care about that. But that pivotal one, deal, that success, eureka moment.
You go first. I don't know if I have a specific moment.
Yeah, I don't say ain't no moment, bro.
What was your last dance session in the kitchen?
Well, see, that's the thing. I have a money dance. Any money I get, I do is that.
No, not all.
No, it gets to the point where I gotta be saying, dance.
Yeah.
Because we ain't that broke. But what happens is that, all right, I do believe that when you are on the journey, right, and you are in alignment with what it is that you're supposed to be doing, like you have to go, you know where it is that you want to end up, and you are moving in that direction, right? You are just like, if you know you, like the universe is going to leave signs, right? And it's going to leave clues that you're in the right spot, right? And sometimes if you're not, you're going to shift. But I really do believe that if you are in alignment with what it is that you really say that you're doing, and in alignment, I mean that your actions line up with what you say you're doing, and you go and your intentions are pure, it's grounded, and you move it, like it isn't going to be like, aha, because it can be a lot of, oh,
What's
yeah,
next?
oh, yeah, oh, yeah. And somebody asked me one time, say, Ethan, does it get easier? No, it don't, bro. You just get better at working, dealing with hard, like stuff that used to make me cry and break me and make me question my worth as a man. Because I've been doing this long enough, I recognize the patterns, and I know I can figure it out because there is no option, right? Like I know I can figure it out. So it's like there isn't a eureka moment. At least it hasn't been for me. I just know that a good sign for me when I knew that not even that things on the right track, that I know like it was really paying off, was now we getting inbound. Inbound being that people are now calling us. And so it isn't as heavy a push. Like, and we still pushing. A lot of people, when they start getting that inbound,
They stop.
they ease up. No, bro, that's when you go harder. You know, like, you get that couple and you're like, all right, people calling me now. No, that's when you go harder and you push because that is very fleeting. Like dying and last all the time, right? And they not even have anything to do with you. And so as far as the signs or like that moment, it's like you just gotta be like, you gotta be delusional sometimes, right? Because you gotta work with no evidence outside of, I feel like this thing makes sense.
That's what you're supposed to be doing.
And that has to be a validation until the market can see it. Because outside of that, like that's all you got to go on for such a long time. Like this just got, and then sometimes it's like this gotta wait. Like there's no alternative. So I need to figure out how to make this thing wait. And so a lot of it is really self-driven, which is why I say, like, I think as an entrepreneur, like you gotta be a little bit delusional. Like, because you gotta be able to see stuff without external validation. We just gotta know that this thing makes sense, that this feels right, and that this is what I should be doing. And a lot of times people confuse that with how the market receives me and I getting paid and this and all, but I was doing this thing for 3 months, man. That ain't what it is. Like you just gotta make the commitment and then just push through, because they are gonna be like a long time, and just do it because you're supposed to be doing it. So for me, there was never like a moment. Like I have milestones and I'm like, okay, well, I could see that there are levels to this. And, I had a team and I started out, it was just me. When I started the media company, I started out in a living room. He's in 2-bedroom, 1 bath, me, her, my daughter, her dog.
Our dog.
Her dog. And now I have a studio. I got 16 team members and I still struggle it. Like, because every new level, there's a different devil, right? You all know that. So you're in a continuous state of stretch. Because the minute you get comfortable, like I doing this, then you ain't growing. And one thing that I remind myself is that this is self-inflicted. Nobody have a gun to my head and say, be an entrepreneur. Like I choose this life, which is why I know I ain't little crazy. Because it's hard, but if it's in you and it's something that you're doing, then that needs to be the only kind of sign. Because until the market can validate you, you have to be able to validate yourself. And the only validation I get from the market is my bank account. Like if it ain't on the account, like it don't matter. So I just keep working until you show up there, and that's my validation.
I guess add one more thing to that. I think Ethan could attest this to something, I guess it wasn't an aha moment, but something that I guess made me feel like I was in a good place was we would travel. We travel quite a bit. When we travel, the business is still being able to run without us there. Like that took me as someone that, was the only one in my business for a long time. I was the face of the business for a long time. To be able to go away for 2 weeks at a time and have clients still be trained, have business operations still run. Before, I don't know, maybe 2 years now, I've had team members that were able to carry out operations. Before then, if I traveled, everything was on stop, meaning the money was also on stop. So everything had to be very, planned. But I think for me, that was a big, like, okay, like this is a sign, but okay, I'm on the right track. A little more positive and uplifting, but that's so true.
So then about last question.
Is it you?
Yeah.
Choose.
Good night.
Good night.
So I know if I probably a week asking in a different way, but as an entrepreneur, the same kind of question where they were saying, how do you know when you don't need the cushion no more? Because I'm like one that is, I like the safety net, and then I know I can make it, but then I still sometimes call back as a business that I'm in is like seasonal. So what advice would you give for me?
Okay, so let me just make sure I understand question. You're saying, how do you know you need the cushion? In this instance, cushion is the job,
The part-time job.
the part-time job. This part-time job.
The part-time job is seasonal, or your business is seasonal?
Like sometimes I treat my business like it's part-time. I feel more safe to be working for people.
Is it because wait, so is the business is it seasonal because of the part-time job, or it's just the nature of the business?
The nature of the business sometimes is easy.
All right.
What's the business?
So I do massages and like beauty.
How is that seasonal?
Okay, so for me, I
Seasonal to you.
the way how I can promote myself because it's like the Bahamians, or not to say Bahamians only, but residential clientele who I could say I have developed so far. It's like scarce. It is in like my clientele come at week, like month. It like maybe sporadic, So that's why I say it's kind of seasonal. It's not every week I get for sure 5 clients. Some weeks I may have 1 client. Some weeks I may have 10 clients. Some weeks I may have a month may go by. So I still have a cushion.
And the cushion is job. How much time you spend working in your business?
And what aspect?
Working on it, not in it. Yeah.
Yeah, like how do you promote it? How much time do you spend on social media? How much time do you spend reaching out to clients? How much time do you spend actually in sales trying to get business into your business? Not in exactly. So that's why it's sporadic, right? I mean, the reality is that as a business owner, whether it's a part-time business, and that's why it's a part-time business, so you're getting part-time clients, right? Reality is that if you're a business owner and you don't have inbound, all of your time that's not actually fulfilling clients should be spent on getting clients, sales, promotion, marketing, going out there, doing stuff. Everybody looking for a masseuse to do these health fairs and stuff. Like, what is your strategy for getting clients? Like, your only job when you don't have clients should be to get clients. And if you're doing anything outside of that, then you ain't gonna get the clients that you need. Like when I started my person, literally I used to stand by the fax machine for at least 4 hours a day because we did, and I used to do fax blasts. I don't know, e-blast or broadcast. I used to stand literally by the fax machine.
So you
And then I used to call them and be like, hey, y'all, check your fax machine. And I just send something. But that's all you have to promote your business. And if you aren't putting the time to do that, then it's no wonder that the business or the clients are sporadic.
Yeah, I think it becomes one of those things like you are feeding the cycle of because you have the comfort of the part-time job, you feel like maybe you don't need to put as much effort into the business. I feel like it's a nice piece, that cycle. Like that comfort makes you feel like you don't have to go as hard because you know you're gonna get the sure thing from the part-time. So I would say approach it as the business, make, like you said earlier, make the main thing the main thing. If your business and the goal is to actually leave the part-time job and give all your energy, effort, resources to your business, and you have to treat it like this is the only thing, or this is the top priority. And like Ethan said, focusing on the client acquisition. Like if you don't have a full calendar of clients booked, like whatever free time you do have, and even now while it is limited to hours outside of your part-time job, like that should be filled with strategizing, executing that strategy for client acquisition. And only you really know when you're ready. It may be that you feel like you need to keep both, but how do you fill your calendar to the point where you want it filled with massage clients? Like it doesn't have to be, okay, I need to be in a position to leave if you don't want to. If your goal is to leave, then like Ethan said, reverse engineering it, figuring out what that looks like. But what is your idea? What is your actual end goal? Is it to have 10 clients a week, whatever your capacity is? Is it to max that out? But reverse engineering and saying, how much time can I realistically allocate to getting from where I am now to where I want to be?
I can say this one.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Very briefly, right now there is an explosion with AI. Do you have any advice in terms of how to implement AI in your business venture, trying to expand it? And if you have done it, is there anything that you could share? I guess one thing that you could share in particular to those who are willing to try to use it to their advantage today?
You go ahead.
All right, so I have a love-hate relationship with it. No, I love AI.
You love it.
I love AI. It's the ChatGPT, Opus Clips. I even put it to my team to figure out how they could utilize AI in their roles to increase speed and efficiency. So AI is a wonderful tool, right? Being in the media space and being in the creator space, we are recognizing that there's a whole lot of what they're calling AI slop. Like people feel as though because it's so easy to generate quote unquote content now, they could just slap AI, use AI to do all that stuff, right? And so one of the things is what's happening is it's causing trust in the market across industries to erode. So people aren't necessarily trusting what they're seeing anymore because they're saying it's probably AI, right? And so that's the challenge that entrepreneurs, founders, business leaders are having now. And so on one end, I use AI as a tool to help me get faster, more efficient results. I use AI to ideate. I use it to help organize my thoughts. I use it to come up with concepts and help me with strategy, but I use it as a sparring partner as opposed to
Do the work for me.
doing the work for me, right? But like I said, on the flip side of that, if anybody who's a founder in any business, like I would tell you to focus on building your personal brand, because your personal brand is the only fight that you would have to really build trust at scale. And people are only going to want to do business with people they know, like, and trust. And so because there's so much AI out there, your biggest defense to that is to really build your personal brand based on your own experiences, based on your lived experiences, but so that people know your voice. And so that's one of the things that I've been very intentional about over the last maybe 6 to 8 months, like really focusing on building my personal brand. So when I go there, people say, oh yeah, I know you because I see you on Instagram and TikTok. Like they know what I sound for, so they already know the brand. And I find that helps a lot. But from a utilization standpoint, definitely in the industry, I use like AI to help me ideate, to help me organize my thoughts, as well as to help with certain workflows from like editing and stuff. We use AI in our editing. As simple as captions, just using AI for that. And so that's how I've incorporated it into my business.
See this.
Ethan and Dekel Quant. If you guys enjoyed this, give us a round of applause. Give us a round of applause. This is beautiful. I just want to say on behalf of Cafe Amore and myself, thank you all for coming out, for giving this audience so much knowledge, relationships, collaborations. I mean, they give you a blueprint to that businesses tonight. You know, people say that being is key. But look at these two tonight for sharing. They hold back. Anybody they hold back? No bias over the three things was giving us everything we asked. And we out there appreciate that. All right. Just want to thank you all for coming out. Before we even close up, if you're not following Ethan Quant and Dekel Quant, raise your hand. If you're not following them, okay, cause that's pretty good. So only a few y'all need to follow. Hit them up right now. On Instagram, on TikTok. Let's plug their socials. If you're not following me, raise your hand. It's up to everybody. It's joking. All right. So hit me up on Instagram as well. I like, oh, the cafe. Everybody following the cafe. Awesome. Yeah. Cafe Amore Bahamas. That's the first one. Cafe Amore Bahamas on all social medias. I'm Keith Bryant Jr. on all social medias. Keith Bryant Jr. I don't want to get it wrong. So I like Ethan and Dekel say it wrong.
So all three of them are on the cafe. So if you forget them, if you just remember Cafe Amore, that flyer that you saw, all of their handles, and they have a Matter handle as well. We are the Quants. All of those are on the cafe. Okay, just to make it easier, because so is Keith is on that as well.
So go on Cafe Amore and look for Dekel wasn't on it, but you could find her at Bowflex Bar.
Bowflex Party.
At Bowflex Party on Instagram.
All right, please.
All right.
I say on all.
I just want to get one person to share their feedback. If something really hit you, if you're really came out with something burning, and you really felt like, I guess the purge, I want you to actually give a feedback. Someone wasn't spoken, some people just been lurking in the back, but if we suck it up and really gain encouraged, I want you to give a feedback. Someone haven't heard from. Okay. I'll show you your name. Sorry.
Hi, my name is Bailey. Obviously I came maybe more towards the end, but I think that's something that they really emphasize is that success principles are the same across various industries. So if you look at someone and you could think, well, they have it so easy or they have it so good, and it's like, no, like success is success, and the beginning of it says suck, and so it's not always convenient, and you have to work hard no matter what or whatever you're doing. And so it's just, in whatever industry you're in or whatever you're doing, literally just go hard at it and don't look at anyone else. Like tunnel vision is really important, and also don't look for results. Like talks about like you're doing something for 3 months and then it's like, oh, where are my results? And you think that maybe you should stop, but it's like, no, don't put a timeline on it. Not that you shouldn't have goals, but at the end of the day, you just understand that hard work is hard work and you have to be willing to do the work.
Do the work. Shoot, do the work. Ethan, that's one of his biggest things. He's been saying, I got it from him. Oh, yes, do the work. Ain't no way running around that. He come in, we get all these competitions every month, which we will. Yeah, but every month, every last Thursday. But I promise you, it's all gonna come back to the same vibe. Love to do it work. There's no way getting around that. You could network your butt off. You could business and market. You have to do the actual work, lovely good work. So thank you again to the Quants. Let's give them another round of applause. Thank you for Cafe Amore, being with you. And we are looking forward to seeing you next month, the same Thursday, every last Thursday of the month. This is the spot. If you like this, it's gonna be in the same vibe. I can't say Bella. It's gonna be in the same vibe.
Yeah, don't say wow, yeah.
The standard is so high. We just need to maintain at this one. You know what I mean? So we quality guests, quality interactions. I love to see you guys interacting. So continue to interact as you come. And you may be seeing some faces that you're seeing already in the audience in the near future sitting up here. So, just stay tuned. We have some great things on the horizon at Cafe Amore. All right, thank you all for coming. The cafe is still open until 10 p.m. So feel free to stick around and talk. Yeah, you have a discount tonight.
No.
Wine refill, 50% off.
We have wine refills at 50%. So we do have a discount tonight. And I will be giving away a free item, a lead item. What should I do that way?
The person who rates the most people next week.
Who brought the most persons today? Will someone come in and they brought a friend or two with them?
And bring it off.
Okay. You pick one. Anybody want one person with you today?
The Holy Spirit.
Everybody say you bring the Trinity.
Right? Show your name, what is it? Yeah. Yeah, all right. So we also passing around a register. So you guys have to promote your business as well. What I want to do is I want to compile something and send an email with all of the persons, their businesses. So that can also be able to remind you when we have an event. Then we have a community group. You can add your community group so that you could be posting on what we're doing here. All right. But thank you all for coming again. Looking forward to similar guys next month, next week, every last Thursday of the month.
Russell. That was good. That was good. View? Oh, my bongi.